Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Zodiac Bandit, and before we get started with this video, I just wanted to have some sort of announcement pseudo type of thing. I just did a bunch of recording and editing, which I want to tell you guys that next week's videos, which means May 6th and May 9th videos, are already up on the channel. And the way that you guys can watch them is if you become a member. And I intend to keep preemptively uploading videos, so the May 13th and May 16th videos will also be available as soon as possible, which will be before those days come out. So if you're members of the channel, you'll be able to watch those videos as soon as I upload both of them, because I'll probably put both of them up at roughly the same time. And I intend on doing this until the Umbra miniseries starts. And then once that happens, I'll still continue to upload the Tuesday videos as soon as I make the videos, and preemptively as soon as I make the videos, and then the recaps will be up as soon as I finish those. So you don't have to wait till 2:30 for those videos to come out anymore. So I figured that was a nice little incentive to get some people to become members of the channel. Right now, that's the only incentive I have. I would like to hear more from you guys on what you think we could do to make that happen, but I figured maybe we should start having channel members, so who knows. And this is like sort of the first thing I intend to do to make that worthwhile. So you can either do that, or you can just wait for those videos to come out naturally for you, because they are scheduled to be released for you. But if you're a member, you get to watch them sooner. So just thought I'd say that before the video started. So let's get to the video. Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Zodiac Bandit, and today I need to remedy a mistake that I made on a video I made not too long ago. So I ranked the top 10 NPCs of Critical Role very recently, and I mildly irritated some people with it. Not because of the picks that I made, it's because of the picks I didn't make. There were two people who were left off the list that a lot of people were kind of upset that they didn't show up on it at all, and that was, well, Pumat Sol and Sean Gilmore. Now, they were in the top 20 before I made cuts to that video, and I elected to just go to the top 10 because I was repeating myself a lot for some of those NPCs, right? With their importance to the story, their lack thereof, the voice, that kind of stuff. Was, I was repeating myself quite a lot for that video. But it got me thinking about how I could make a video where I do talk about Sean Gilmore and Pumat Sol, and that's what today's video is. I'm going to be ranking the top 5 shopkeepers in Critical Role. So some of you might be wondering why I'm only doing the top 5. Well, because some of them don't leave that much of an impact. They're there for a couple minutes, and that's about it. After that, we're kind of left without too much going on for some of these characters, and they're sort of one and dones, maybe less than 20 minutes on screen. So realistically, it's not overly important for these characters to be in the story at all or whatsoever. They don't serve that much of a purpose in the story. Now, some of the characters on this list are going to be characters who fit in that sort of description, but they have some sort of impact on me from various different reasons. So I will explain that when we get to those characters. But I just feel like 5 is also just a good number, a nice, I don't want to say even number because it's not even, but a nice number for us to go for a shopkeeper video to be a sort of pseudo sequel to the best NPCs video that I made about a week and a half ago. At number 5, I have, well, one of the greatest shop owners in all of the Kryn dynasty.
Hi, welcome to Zorth's Pits on Zorth.
Zorth?
Yeah.
Zorth. Zorth's Pit.
Yes, my number 5 is Zorth, the owner of Zorth's Pit. I love this little creature. He's amazing. He's a goblin who's missing both of his arms, so he has to tie everything, write everything, do everything with his feet. He's a very dexterous little bugger, and I find Zorth's Pit, the name of the shop, to be ironic because he has no pits on his arm, because he has no arms, which I've always thought to be just a really funny name. But this is a shopkeep that they went into the Kryn dynasty to sort of buy some more bounders to maneuver around the region of, or the kingdom or the empire of the Kryn dynasty. And I just love this character so much. First of all, the ability to instantly show up and break the characters within your first sentence, or to break the players in your first sentence, is perfect. The voice is awesome. The facial expression he gives off is awesome. The details of him basically wearing a Shrek vest and having no arms and having to do everything with his feet is awesome. The way he talks to the players and sort of looks around and jokes with them is really fun. The energy this character has is just great and unexpected for someone who has no arms and who lives in the Kryn dynasty. Honestly, love the character. Think he's hilarious. That's why he's number 5. He only shows up for the one episode, but he has left his impression on me ever since the first time I saw this clip. Here's the thing. I saw this clip of this character, I saw this full minute or however long his time on the stream lasted, months before I started, like, truly trying to catch up with Campaign 2. I was watching periodically at the time to try to, watch a handful of episodes. This clip was, like, the first one that really encouraged me to start to try to catch up. And luckily I eventually did. But I always credit this one because of the humor that was in it, because of, like, I wanted to understand more about where they were at the time. I loved everything surrounding this, and this is one of the handful of clips that really pushed me to try to catch up as soon as possible. At number 4, I have a very similar character to Zorth, and he is the best black powder salesman around.
I gingerly put the purse down in front of me.
He takes it with a whisk. It's already put away into a side pouch, and you hear the clanging of kind of haphazard coins in his far pocket.
Yeah. Okay, take it. To Samson, this way.
And he grabs your arm and drags you out of his hovel. He points across the way with this kind of shaking, crooked finger.
Samson, there, in the brick building. I tell him, Vecna sends you. He'll give you all.
Thank you for all of your help. You've been so kind.
Oh, my pleasure. You want more powder? Come back.
I might do that.
Good. Goodbye.
And pushes you out, takes both of you by the arms and pushes you out, slams the door behind, and you are left kind of standing there half covered in blackened soot and black powder in the center of the thoroughfare midday, kind of stunned by the whole encounter.
I mean, come on.
Amazing.
Come the fuck on.
Amazing.
Come on.
That's crazy
I'm
prospect.
going to very gently...
At number 4, I obviously have Victor, a character who a lot of people were also mildly upset wasn't on the NPC list, but here he is. And again, everything I basically said about Zorth can be applied to Victor. I love the voice. I love the crazy environment he's in. I love the way that Matt presents him. I love how serious Matt gets into playing Victor. I didn't show it in that clip, but in a previous clip, he's actually like spitting everywhere because of it. He's like got spit rip like going down his face, and it's hilarious. I think the character is great. Unlike Zorth though, because Zorth only appears one time, they repeatedly go back to Victor because he's like one of the few sources of black powder in the entirety of Exandria. So for him to be able to go there and to buy some from him is a very good thing, and we get to see this hilarious character repeatedly over the campaign, which is nice. And each time he goes there, there's different PCs that go with him, different guest players that go with him, who all get to interact with him. But at the same time, Victor also has mild character progression as he eventually sells some black powder to Anna Ripley as well. But somewhere along the line, he gets injured and hurts his hand, and Percy has to sort of make him a sort of claw grabby hand, like sort of like one of those like extended pole arm things that you can buy at like the dollar store. He gets one of those from Percy as sort of like a payment to pay for some black powder at some point. And he, the term "I learned from my mistakes" is popularized by Victor, at least in the campaign or Critical Role sense. It's popularized by him. So there is mild character progression with him. We see him going from a full hand to a few fingers are gone to all of his fingers are gone to a robotic little grabby hand that he makes. And I think this is great. Having a character progression like that is awesome. And I love the voice. I'm a sucker for a good voice and a good way to like have, a character be visualized much easier, and the way that Matt makes himself look all crooked and gross, it's a pretty good way of doing that. And at number 3, I have the best mechanic in Bassaris.
You thought, well, at first we're just like decor are large automaton bodies, these kind of rotund walls that just kind of keep an eye on you. It's like, just my protection, don't worry. I don't trust easy. Turns around, takes a piece of sandwich off the table and kind of, I'm Immaharaj. Welcome to my workshop here in Bassaris, and you might be...
At number 3 is Immaharaj. This character is so awesome. I love him for just adding to the city of Bassaris so much, right? Part of the reason there's so many crawlers around the city is because of him. He's a mechanic who's able to make all of those really badass crawlers, and without him, the Death Wish run might not be a possibility. There are other mechanics, but he's the best one. So that's why I contribute a lot of that to him, because a lot of them go to him to make and fix and put together and ramshackle just a bunch of those crawlers. And as somebody who used to be a welder fabricator, I'm a big fan of any type of stuff like this where it's like a dingy workshop and there's soot everywhere, and you have to have the leather gloves on and the personal protection wear that you have to have all the time. I love the environment that he's in. I like the his work that he does. I also like that he makes and builds a bunch of automatons, and we get to further some information on FCG because of him. He just adds a lot to the city of Bastarus. He adds to the story of FCG in a lot of ways, where he sort of confirms with us that, you know, Danzer sort of rebuilt him, and he's the first person to get like a really good look at the inner workings of FCG. Now, we don't learn like the most about FCG from him, like we would later learn from a different mechanic in Uthadern, the name of FCG and what FCG stands for, but we did learn quite a bit about where they came from Immaharaj, and we learned about Dancer, and we learned a ton of stuff about Bastarus, FCG, and just the greater landscape of like maybe a little bit about the Paragon's Call. There's just a lot to learn from this character. Another reason I'm such a big fan of Immaharaj is because he's based off Grant Imahara. And if you don't know who that is, I'm a big fan of Mythbusters. He was one of the members of Mythbusters, and unfortunately he passed away. He died, I believe, from cancer. I'm almost positive it was cancer, which really sucks. But this was Matt's way of honoring him because they were friends. They knew each other quite well. Apparently he was really big in the cosplay community, which I thought was really cool. So Matt giving him that tribute was dope, especially for me because like I said, big Mythbusters fan. I grew up watching Mythbusters. So for me, I saw Grant almost every day on my television. So for him to be honored in this way is really cool. I've honored people who have passed away in my life. Like I've honored in one of my games, there was a Fae, Fae character who sort of showed up in one of my games who was based off my great grandma who passed away like that year. So I've done that in the past, and to see this sort of thing happen in Critical Role was really cool and really fun. And I'm a big fan of that idea. To immortalize a person in a D&D game is, you know, a really fun way to do it. So we are now in the top two, and these two are the reason this video is being made, so I can talk about them a little bit. But who is number two? Well,
What have you done to Kaden?
Oh, you're just an excitable little friend there, aren't you?
This giant hand goes out and kind of pats you on the head.
It's gentle.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
At this point, the two other figures in the back turn around, and it's the same guy.
What?
There's two more of the same furball, same outfit, same exact visual, and they both go,
Hi.
All right.
Okay, this is a little off-putting, but
I
it's
invoke
okay.
duplicity.
Well, that's just impressive.
You're impressive.
and he reaches out and kind of puts his hand out to shake your hand.
What's your name?
Jester.
And what's your name?
Oh, that's Jester number 2.
It goes through
I know,
her
I'm
head.
sorry about that.
Oh, that's an illusion.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Enchanter Pumat Soul.
That's so.
And this, I guess, I am also Enchanter Pumat Soul. And the guy, the third one goes, I myself am also Enchanter Pumat Soul.
So first question that I have for you, Pumat's...
The fourth one's in the back.
Pumat Soul, is...
that's right. At number 2, I have Pumat Soul. I love Pumat Soul. Honestly, I probably like him a little bit more than number 1. But I'm taking everyone into consideration here when I rank this video, specifically for the number 1 and number 2 spot. I saw more people wanting the other guy to be number 1. But I'm going to talk about Pumat Soul here. First of all, love everything about him. Love that he's a furbolg. I 100% firmly believe that this character being introduced into the game is the reason that when Molly died, Talzin elected to make Caduceus a furbolg. I 100% believe Pumat Soul is the reason that happened. Also on top of that, I just love the simulacrum thing. I think a magical shop vendor would of course clone himself to do the job right? Who else is going to do the job right other than you? No one. Make yourself a bunch of clones. Really cool. Also, I really enjoyed the fact that later it would be established that Pumat Prime has goggles on his head, which is how they differentiate each other from, that one's not the real one, that one's the real one. And I just love that idea that one of them has to wear something specifically to be a little different. Also, I like that the simulacrums are the guys who work the front, and the real Pumat is in the back. I enjoy that idea quite a lot. Also, I need to put this out there in the universe. Everyone, for some reason, calls him Canadian. And as a Canadian, I 100% condone this. Please continue calling him Canadian, and I need you to continue to do so because it gives me, as a Canadian, some representation into the world of Exandria. So please keep calling him Canadian. I love the idea. The idea of this magical shop owner just having a bunch of versions of him is brilliant. Also, what I also really like is the only way that you can go shop at Pumat's place is to go to his place in Zadash. It's the only one. He doesn't have multiple across the entirety of Exandria. It's just that invulnerable vagrant. That's it. It's the only one. And you can find all of the Pumat souls you need there, and it's awesome. I love the character. So much fun. I love his introduction. I love the way that the players react and break to him. There's a little theme for my NPCs, right? The NPCs that I like are the ones that break the players the most. And Pumat Soul does that in spades. On top of all of that, eventually Pumat Soul would even step into a combative role and aid the players when they were fighting the Angel of Iron's cult and was there to help free Yasha from their grasp. And you gotta give him some points for being able to step up and fight and protect the people who buy the most shit from him. That's absolutely why he decided to go and help them, because he knew they were gonna come back and buy more shit from him. And that obviously just leaves one spot left. Number 1. And we all know who that is.
No, he's better. He's very well dressed. But his presentation is definitely a presentation. As the hand swishes open, he goes, "I'm sorry, was I being summoned?"
Yes.
He immediately looks at
Yes.
Oh, you've returned.
Gilmore.
Gilmore!
You glorious bastard. How have you been?
He immediately rushes to the edge and kind of like leans over the counter to give you a grandiose hug and actually lifts you off your feet. Much stronger than you anticipated. He goes, "Oh, Vaxalia, it's been far too long." He sets you down next to him behind the counter and gives you a big hug. Strong wizard arms around you.
Yes, Sean Gilmore is number 1 on this list for many, many reasons. First of all, he's just a bunch of energy, right? Like if I had to describe energy as a person, it's him. And the way that I would describe it is good vibes, right? He is just good vibes 24/7. Even when he's at death's door, which that happened to him a couple times, he was still good vibes. And he also has a really fun relationship with Vax. I really appreciate that, he didn't get super butthurt about the fact that Vax and Keyleth ended up together. He was sort of like, I see. And accepted it. It was painful at the time, but he accepted it, and he grew and still loved the party as much as he loved as much as he loved Vax, right? He loved them all. He didn't have any resentment toward Keyleth, and that's the way that things should be done. But I just love the character. He's so much fun. He's very energetic. I adore the idea that his shops connect to each other. I do like the idea of having a single shop better, and you have to go to him. But I do love the idea that this eccentric guy would want to have multiple stores in multiple locations, and to just walk through the back of his curtain would be the way to teleport to the other places. I think that's brilliant, and I think that fits him super well. Now, the reason he's number 1 is because of the impact he had on the story, the characters, the world of Exandria. This character gets involved multiple times with the main story, which only happened once for good old Pumat, and I feel like that does need to be taken into account when we talk about good shopkeepers / NPCs. And Sean Gilmore got involved multiple times. He saved the lives of most of the royal family of Iman. He didn't save the life of the king, but he did save his children and his wife. And on top of that, he would be one of the many mages protecting Whitestone from the Chroma Conclave with the protective barrier they put up over top of it. On top of that, he would help fight the leader of the Chroma Conclave in Thordak, which I thought was really badass and really cool. And it would be later revealed that he was also there in Vasselheim to defend it when good old Vecna showed up to try to, tear it down as well. So this character gets involved many, many times. I'm sure I've missed some as well. And again, his impact on the overall story, being involved with it so much, is great. Very much like Aurora in that sense, where he just gets involved and helps the party because he cares about them and he loves them a lot. On top of that, he had a romance for a little while with Vax. Most of that romance seemingly was pre-stream though, because we got basically the tail end of it where Vax started to realize he had feelings for Keyleth. So I'm not going to hold that too high in esteem, but there was still a nice relationship between the two of them, and it blossomed into a nice friendship. And we would also see his pain after realizing that Vax was in fact gone and joined the Raven Queen during the Search for Grog one-shot, which I felt that moment. You know, you could feel the pain in the way that Matt portrayed Sean in that moment, and I just think that that's a beautiful thing to be able to convey, which is part of the reason I wish that Matt was playing Sean Gilmore in the Vox Machina animated series. I guess I get why they sort of shoved that off to someone else, but I just really wish that we got that for some reason. I just feel like he did the best job of conveying Sean's emotions during stuff like that. But I digress. This character is number 1 for many reasons, including all of you suggesting that he should be on the list. I saw more people saying Sean Gilmore than Pumat Sol, so I took that into consideration because it's true. His impact to the story is far greater than Pumat's. As much as I want to say Pumat's better because I personally like him more, I have to put my bias aside and say for like fact, Sean Gilmore is more than likely the better NPC and the better shopkeeper. And there you have it, my list of my favorite, the top 5 shopkeepers in Critical Role. So let me know what your guys' favorites. Did I miss any? Which ones did I miss? Because I know someone's going to mention someone that I missed. So let me know in the comment section who you think are the best 5. You can even go up to 10 if you want to. But I thought I'd do something different with this video by introducing like some clips of the characters a little bit, like their introductions to the story or the first time we meet them. So I thought that was a cool idea. Hopefully it made for a better video. Who knows? Let me know, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for whatever video I make next. Peace.